Welcome back to another episode of Ultras 11 podcast. I'm Joe.
And I'm Alex.
So yeah, I tried to be serious there for the whole thing because I'm getting criticized. Before we get started on anything, I just want to remind everybody to please follow us on Instagram, TikTok, subscribe on YouTube, like our pictures, comment, that whole thing. Just do it.
Just help the boys out by just sharing us. Share our profiles, share our pages, share our videos. Everything helps us just spread the word about Ultras XI.
Yeah, talk shit if you want.
Exactly.
That's fine.
Talk
We're
shit
okay
to us.
with
We'll
it.
take it. No problem. We'll give it right back.
Actually,
you might not like it.
Say maybe I won't take it. I'll take it personally.
Yeah,
but
Joe will come for your dome.
Yeah, exactly. But the season's underway. We all know that. A couple games have been played, both Premier League, Serie A, La Liga, everything like that. So the transfer market's still open, and it kind of helps with the teams that got to improve in some places, lacking some depth, whatever it is. But this is the part of the market that everybody hates. All the prices are going to be either way inflated or you're just getting a really good deal. Yeah. Like you look at some of these deals that are happening. It's like, why the hell are they now getting them for like $2 million? Sometimes it doesn't pan out that way. And so that brings us to our next point. Benjamin Pavard going for 35 mil. That's not including bonuses.
I know.
To Inter.
Absolutely crazy, man.
The Prem, I feel like they kind of have their whole transfer market sorted out, just in case like a player leaves, like that's when you'll see them react. Yeah. I feel like a lot of their bigger deals are already done.
They spend early on. They get that shit over with.
Yeah. So like it's more so like the Serie A teams that are still looking to plug a few gaps, do their thing, like whatever it is there. Inter kind of, I guess, lacked another defender.
Yeah.
So,
losing Skriniar.
So they were
kind
of
really address that.
They were kind of desperate for a center back. So in steps Pavard, and now we have Pavard on Inter.
Yeah.
So Al, my question to you is, what does Benjamin Pavard actually offer Inter in regards to visibility?
That's the thing. I don't want to downplay him too much because he is a very good player, and I think him personally, I think he'll do very well in Serie A, especially if they're playing him. They use him more as a center back and not, because I know he can play on the right, and Inzaghi's always with that 3-5-2. So I hope he doesn't kind of, which I don't think they should because they have Cuadrado and what's his name? My God.
Bellanova?
No, the right. Why am I? Oh my God! I just packed him in FIFA too. Dumfries. I just packed him his footies card. I'm going blind. I got him literally last night. But yeah, anyways, so I don't think they could push him there. So as a center back, I could see him doing very, very well. But then it's just that 35 mil that's tacked on to his name. It doesn't sit well with me. It's way too much money for what that guy's going to be, because he's not going to be a starter. Realistically, Inzaghi he always goes the same thing. He's going to go Acerbi, Bastoni, and De Vrij. So, where is he going to get in there consistently? Is he going to be, a main starter for them? Maybe down the line if he really, proves himself and proves to be that guy. But for me, I don't think he's that kind of he's good depth. He's a good guy, to have on the team. He'll do his job. He won't stand out. But the 35 mil is where I get thrown off with that whole deal. That's where for me, I'll say, I'm not saying this as a Juventino or just hating on everything. Cause I'll say when, Inter makes a good signing, but with that, it's just, for me, I don't think they could have gone the cheaper route and, signed somebody, like that, like that for depth and saved on the money. But it's Steven Zhang, he wants that second star, and he'll spend all the money that he doesn't have to get it, and this could backfire on them, but only time will tell.
So taking all that into consideration, do you think that this is actually a good signing for Inter?
Again, he'll help out, he'll be beneficial down the line throughout the season's long, they're in all competitions, he's going to be beneficial. But the money wise, like I said, they could have signed, a cheaper alternative in that center back position. And then, maybe, if they, had to make some other look around, say, okay, where else do we, we kind of lacking that we need some depth, and use that money instead of just, waiting last minute. Now that Bayern's, they don't need to sell him. They're not desperate.
In that position.
They didn't have a replacement. That's why they were holding off for so long. So that they weren't trying to push the move. So they held on to that figure, and Inter kept trying to go, undercut. Nothing worked. And now they, gave in and paid what Bayern wanted. And I don't know. It's a lot of money for me to look at that signing and be like, yeah, you know what? Hey, that ended up being worth it. That was good on them.
I think it is a good signing. I think what kind of clouds the whole like reality, if it's like deemed a good signing or not, is the fact that they're paying as much as they did.
Yeah.
Like if he came at half the cost.
Oh, dude, if he came at like 9 mil, 10 mil.
Yeah.
Buddy, even if he does half decent as a sub coming on, as a, a guy to kind of, play those every other game. But I'd be like, you know what? Hey, Inter got a fucking steal. You know what? Like he's still kind of like hasn't hit 30 yet. Like that's a good deal. But for the money that they paid, for me, I don't think so. You might disagree with that, but
I think it's a good deal. I'm gonna be honest. Like, okay, again, it's kind of the price they paid. That's why it kind of clouds the whole. Is it a good deal or not? But for me, like the whole thing with Pavard is he offers you like a versatility almost. Like if someday Inzaghi decides to stop playing the 3-man back line and he goes with a 4-man back line, which will never happen, but whatever. We're speaking metaphorically. He would be like, he could slot into that right back role seamlessly. You know what I mean? Like, and it offers that versatility that, in a game, you could change it to a 3-man back line.
Yeah.
So I think with Pavard's versatility, I don't think he's a great player by any means or whatever, but I think it offers like that versatility and those options that they could have when they're trying to decide their starting 11. I don't see De Vrij starting for them. Yeah. I think he'll start maybe the first couple of games. But until Pavard kind of settles in.
He'll be like, Pavard will be like Inzaghi's little Swiss Army knife. He'll just kind of, I can see, now you're saying that I can see Inzaghi even like throwing him as like a defensive midfielder and just like
that's what I mean.
In these weird positions just because like the guy he's the type of guy that again, he's not going to do anything that's going to stand out, but he'll go there, he'll shut up, put his head down, and he'll do the job.
Yeah, I think Inter actually like with this signing, I think they actually have the proper amount of depth. They actually have a lot better of a team. It's literally just that price tag that makes me feel a little bit unsettled.
And alike.
Do you think this is a signing that Inter had to make though? Or do you think it's one of those you could have went with like a youth product or something like that?
Maybe not youth, but they if I were to go through now like the free agents or guys that are like available for cheaper that are in that around that range of 28 to like 31. Somebody that would be perfect for Inter, because right now Inter's not building anything. They're a team that they're a win now right now team.
Yeah,
they won Serie A 3 seasons ago. They went to a Champions League final last year. They got something almost there. So now for them it's just adding these little pieces, and like that, it's a good signing. But with the price that they paid, I feel like they could have done a little bit better instead of just panicking and buying him.
Yeah,
I get it because you're at the end and your hands are tied. Like there's not much you can do at that point.
Yeah,
you're not going to start looking around and start a whole new negotiation with somebody else if you haven't started anything, but you've already been talking to him for weeks. I get it, but I don't know. I would have tried to push for some sort of like a loan with obligation and like some bonuses that depending if he plays, if he does certain things, if he gets clean sheets, try to do something like that instead of paying straight out like 35 mil without any bonuses. Like that's what Bayern Munich is getting for him.
Yeah. I think again, goes back to the price tag. I feel like that's the one thing that
it's going to weigh on that transfer.
And I think again, I do think it's a signing they needed to make. And I do agree with you. They could have maybe scrambled for somebody else in regards to maybe even looked at Napoli and said, hey, can we get Juan Jesus on a loan, something like smaller, like
knows
whatever,
the league, someone that's experienced.
Something like that, or even like you said, like getting Pavard on loan.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I feel like Inter doesn't make those kind of deals.
No,
I don't think they loan with option obligation, whatever. Like you see a couple of their players, whatever, but in a roundabout way, it's always an obligation to buy.
They just do sketchy deals. They say, yeah, we'll worry about it later. And then for them, nothing ever ends up happening.
I think the whole Pavard thing, I do see him starting soon, not right away. I want to say by like November, you'll see him starting in that back three.
He'll get subbed on, but he'll start making his first like actual like starting appearance right after one of the three they have, Bastoni, De Vrij, or Acerbi. One of them either get hurt or they have a bad game where it's like, okay, you know what? Take a break, sit down for a little bit, and then that's when he'll get his.
You also got to remember, like they have Acerbi, whatever, but he's 38 now, 36, like there's something in between there. Like, but
the thing, if he's Joe, it's like he's performing. That was like the same thing happened when we signed De Ligt. When we signed De Ligt, we still had Bonucci, Chiellini.
37.
No, but we still had Bonucci, Chiellini, and Barzagli. They were still all there. And like, I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, okay, I get, you know, De Ligt's this phenomenon, this young kid, but if those guys are still playing good, why are you gonna like change something and ruin something just to play this, you know, this young kid? And he's not even like some prospect. So for, like I said, for him, I could see him only coming in if one of those guys start performing badly, which I can't really see because they've been pretty consistent, or if one of them just, there's an injury, that's where I could see him taking advantage and getting in there.
They've been playing well.
They have been.
The Dumfries is
DeVry has been their weakest spot. And I said it since last year, and I'll say it again this year. He's been the weakest spot. There's games where, you know, he looks good. He looks like that guy that, you know, you saw at Lazio the first year at Inter. Like, he looks like that guy. But there's a lot of times where he just looks very shaky, and you'll see teams like they'll start attacking that side there, and like, dude, the guy gives up everything, and like that's where like the most chances come from is on his side there.
Well, I mean, I'm kind of shocked that Jan Sommer still hasn't made a blunder. I know it's only been 2 games,
that'll come, man.
I mean, everybody kind of torqued for the whole idea that Onana's gone, they suck, like they can't do anything, blah blah blah, whatever.
You know how it is. Like you've been through it. Those at the beginning, you know, when your team's playing hot, you go like 5 games playing the most perfect football, you unbeaten, just playing just magical, and you're like everything just feels like, oh man, what could go wrong here? This is too perfect. Nothing could go wrong. It's just made to be. And then everything just fucks up.
I mean, United experienced that firsthand with Onana deciding to take a seat in the middle of a game.
Did you see that? I keep seeing the memes like him in like an F1 car.
When I saw the one of him in an which one was it? It was like a receiving line or something like that, and I'm just like, guys, stop! Like, Twitter will remain undefeated for the shit they post.
Dude,
like, guys,
the shit that they come up with, man. If you fuck up and it's caught on camera, oh, buddy.
Well,
good luck.
Exiting the whole transfer market here
already, because it's coming up, man. Closing.
Closing time. Actually, you know what? There's one small thing I want to bring up because we talked about it last week, and you know, I know I'm gonna get put my head on.
Joey says I'm the bad guy. I was trying to not get to this and skip over this, and you know, it's rough. It's the day of, you know, it's we just saw, you know, the pictures. It got confirmed as number 90. Thank God it's not 10. I didn't want to bring it up yet, but hey, you know what? Joe wants to bring it up now. I'm ready to talk about it, man.
Only because I feel like everybody thinks I am technically anti-Lukaku.
You don't understand. I'm ordering all 3 Roma jerseys. I love Roma now. You guys saved us.
We saved a lot of people. We saved Chelsea. We saved Inter. We saved
You saved us from getting Lukaku. You also saved us from losing Vlahovic. So in that, I love Roma.
I won't say I'm happy about the deal. I will not say that. I will.
I think you're literally the only Roma fan.
I will. Well, that's the thing. I'll maintain my energy. Whole thing.
Hold on 1 second. I think it's only right.
I don't know where he's going. For you guys that can't. Oh, should I put it on? Should I wear it? Oh, I don't want to wear it anyways because of the
screen here. I know it's the bad team, but it's only right. We celebrate Joe
Lukaku
and his new signing.
Lukaku. It's one of those deals that like it's okay. I'm not stupid.
Tell me how you really feel.
As much as everybody thinks like, Joe, you're fucking stupid, whatever. I'm not. Obviously, he slots into our starting 11. Obviously, he may be one of our best strikers besides maybe like Dzeko, Batistuta, like whatever.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm not stupid. I see that. It's just the price they're paying and everything around it that I'm just unsure about. It's Mourinho's last year. It's a dry loan. Oh, and everybody's going to turn around and say, yeah, but he lowered his release clause at Chelsea to 37 or 47 mil. It doesn't matter. Yeah. We're Roma. We're broke. Where are you going to get this money from? We're going to win the Europa League. You're going to sell who to get that money? So to me, I see it as it's a dry loan. That's all it is.
Essentially.
5 mil up front or 7 mil, whatever the fuck it is at this point, because all these numbers are changing every day. We're paying his full wage, this, that, whatever. Our president flew him out personally.
Flew the plane.
He flew the plane. Great. That's cool.
Didn't go with his pilot. He was the pilot.
Yeah, well, he does have his license.
I know, but like, dude, when have you ever, no matter license or no license, when have you heard of like the owner of a team go pick up a player?
Nah, I'm not gonna lie. That's kind of like the only badass part of this whole deal.
I've never heard of that before.
It's sick. It's kind of sick. It's a flex, man. He's kind of like Tom Cruise in Top Gun, but like more sick because like it's real life. I'm just not sure if I like this whole deal. Simply because, again, it's a Band-Aid. And I get it. Everyone's going to look at me and say, yeah, but Tammy's missing. You're not going to rely on Belotti. Yes, you're right. You're 100% right. But it's one of those deals that to me, like financially, it doesn't make sense. You're going to put this man on a pedestal before he even played. You're living in the past in regards to, oh, look what he did for Inter at that time. Look at what he did for these guys at that time. Yeah. But you're not going to remember all the fucking mistakes this guy made leading up to that. You're not going to remember how he twerked for every single team and said that they're his childhood club. Like, oh, he kissed the Roma badge already and he held up the jersey. Cool. Like I saw pictures in Rome of like them holding up a banner saying the new king of Rome. Like, first off, that is the most absurd fucking claim I've ever. Like, I questioned for a second if I want to still support Roma because like you're really gonna forget. Like, I'd put Dybala above him, obviously, as a king of Rome if you're gonna fucking do shit like that.
Man, the only thing with this move, like that I can see that it works out for all parties is, you know, okay, for the last 2 years it worked out for Roma that they didn't even have to corner the market. They just were patient. They waited. They took advantage of Dybala's situation last year that, you know, no team kind of wanted to risk it, wanted to pull trigger on him or pay the money that he was asking. So everybody pulled out and there was no one really there. Roma stepped in, you know, offered him something that sounded pretty sweet to him. He's like, you know what? I'm down. I'm down to come to Roma. And now look how much he loves it there. He's already falling in love with the city. And he wants to be there. Lukaku, same thing. All summer you're here with Juve. He's linked with Milan. He's linked everywhere. Saudi Arabia. He didn't want to go there. And then now,
which I'll commend actually.
He still wanted to play in Europe. But you know what? Hey, I'll give him that. But he waited. Nothing was really concrete or moving forward because no one could really agree on anything. Roma waited, you know, kind of till the end. Started talking with him, seeing what they can do. Gave him an offer. He liked it. And now he's going over there. And the thing with Lukaku, especially him, he's a player that he needs to be loved and he needs to feel loved. And in a place like Rome, he'll get that. I know, like, you know, if he starts making consistent mistakes, they might start kind of turning on him. I still don't think, especially with Roma, if it was on, you know, like a Milan, Inter, Juve, where there's a lot higher expectations, they'll turn a lot quicker than they will with Roma.
Yeah.
But with Roma, he'll have that, especially, dude, if he starts scoring and starts, you know, fucking feet on the floor, he goes out running and he starts scoring goals right off the bat. They're going to fall in love with him and they're going to treat him like he's actually a king. And that shit is going to make his head like this. But that's what he needs. That's what he needs as a player to get the best out of him. Look with Inter. Okay, you know, everyone, obviously, you know, him being in the best shape of his life and him being fit and not overweight like he was near the end with United. That obviously played a big part. But having a coach like Conte, that he was dying for you. He just wanted you. You went to Inter. They loved you over there. He had all this love. Everybody just, they showed so much love to him. No, there was no hate for him anywhere near there, unless you were a Milan fan. And look how, and he went completely off for 2 seasons. Then he went back to Chelsea. That whole thing, that it just messed him up. And the guys realized he's not made for the Prem. Just leave that in the past. Hey, it was good while it lasted. It's in the past. Leave it in the past. He had this love with Inter. That his biggest mistake was that with that year he left. Obviously, Inter benefited, but if he never left, he would have never lost that love. And okay, he got it back when he came back, but it wasn't the same. It wasn't what he had before. Yeah. The team was different. They didn't want to rely on him anymore. And that's why you saw him. He didn't really get integrated fully into the team. But now with Roma, it's, I don't know, man. I know I didn't want him, and I'm happy we didn't get him. But I think for you guys, like, this can be like a really, I'm not gonna say he's a king. He's gonna be the king of Rome, or he's gonna be, you know, the best player ever to play. Hey, you know what?
Yeah, that title only belongs to
you. You never know. He's gonna have to do a lot, but hey, you never know. But I really think that, like, he can really prove himself and really fall in love with Rome, and Rome's gonna fall in love with him.
I don't disagree.
Rome will fall in love with Rome.
I get it, and stop trying to romanticize this whole thing, because I want to try to stay true to this. I know how to get the Joe. Yeah, you just play on words. Huge play on words, guy. Puns, love that. But with Lukaku, again, like, I won't deny his ability. I won't deny anything like that. Obviously, again, like, I'd be stupid to not see. But it's just, for me, I feel like you're kind of picking at straws with this. Like, I feel like it's a desperate move on his behalf. It's a desperate move on Roma's behalf.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a reactionary type of signing, because
and it worked out.
We didn't get who we wanted.
It worked out for both of them.
But it's just one of those things that, like, I don't know, man. I look at it and it just kind of it makes me kind of question Mourinho sometimes, because it's like this guy's just demanding this.
Yeah.
And last week you came out and said that we're finishing in 5th to 8th. Now, like, what is this going to change your narrative? Like, you got Lukaku. Does that make you a winning team now?
Yeah.
Or is he going to blow up and become fat like he did on United? Because you were the coach at that point, Mourinho.
I know. So he was there.
You know what I
with
mean?
him.
He was that coach that had him as a fat guy. So is that going to come back and play?
Exactly.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, they're going to be able to get along. Maybe, it's again a team with less pressure. Maybe they'll be able to kind of push each other and say, like, okay, you know what? We got to be the ones to step up and do something for this team.
Yeah, like I want players on my team that want to play for the badge, and like call me a nostalgia merchant, call me whatever you want, but like for me, it's always been like for Roma, like you're there because you want to be a part of that.
Yeah,
you want to play for that badge. Lukaku, I just don't see being that guy that wants to play for the badge. Again, maybe it changes. Maybe this is all some reverse psychology shit that I'm playing on myself, so I downplay it and I don't think much of it. But I don't know.
I got one last question just about this I want to ask you. So I know we were talking earlier before, and you had mentioned that, this is not really a signing that, Roma ever made or like ever would make in the past. Like they would never go for a guy like Lukaku in like the situation.
Yeah.
As of recently, and like not trying to, be like one of those guys that, just lives in the past and like, oh, I don't want it to change. And that's the way the world works. Everything's going to change. Now you're seeing like, to bring Juve into this for the first time since 69. No, but for the first time since 69, they're adapting. Now first time they don't have an Italian captain. It's a Brazilian captain.
Yeah.
First time you're watching Juve and you see they're playing 3 in the back and they're 3 Brazilians instead of 3 Italians.
Like,
that's not something you see. And a lot of teams you're seeing now are adapting and they're changing, old traditions. Like some of them, it's obviously you're still going to keep the main ones, and you're not just going to just, sell yourself and give everything away and just completely change.
Yeah.
No team will do that. But do you think like this is what Roma needs to kind of, not fall behind and still kind of be in there with, the top teams and just stay like with everything new and stay up to date with everything?
You know what? I never actually thought about that. I won't lie. When I saw the signing, everything again, I kind of just gave me like a blast from the past. So I actually didn't think about present day adapting to the times, adapting to whatever. This is some of the moves you have to make if you want to be a top side. In that regard, yeah. You know what? Like, it might be Roma trying to make that push to be like a top team in Europe, not just Italy. Like, we want to show the world that, hey, look, we attracted Lukaku here. We attracted Dybala here. Blah, blah, blah. Renato Sanchez. Like, shit like that.
We're not just a mid-table team. Like, we're a competitive team.
Yeah. I just think for me, what kind of puts the sour taste in my mouth, is the fact that like there was no like buildup, I don't know how to describe it. It's almost as if there's no sort of dynasty that Roma is building. I don't know how to like word it properly.
I know what you mean.
But it's more so like we're going to solve problems right now.
Yeah.
We're not going to think about what about next year and the year afterwards. Whereas
that
before,
that also comes with your coach.
Yes.
With different coaches, you're going to, look at a team differently and say, okay, you know what, we're going to make, we're going to try to go a little bit younger and try to pick up guys, in a younger range.
Yeah.
And try to, younger, like make the average age of the team, bring it down this year.
Yeah.
Go a different direction. With Mourinho, I know he's, obviously now with Roma, it's, there's no expectations. It's a different thing for him than he's used to in the past. But he's still going to want to win. He's still going to want to be a good team in the league. He still wants to make a push in Europe. He's not just going to, give up. Like now he's seen that ball 5th to 8th. He's just not trying to put pressure on the team. You obviously know he's going to want to try. He's going to try to make top 4.
I hope that's the fucking case.
That's what it is. Mourinho, he's a guy that he's like Allegri as well. They'll say whatever they, and people will take it. Oh, I can't believe he said this, but he says things in a smart way so that the team doesn't react in a negative way.
Yeah.
They know how to talk. They've done this for a very long time. So when Mourinho says things, it's all tactical. And that's why that 5th to 8th, that's all fucking bullshit, buddy. Don't give fucking me that shit. I was born, but I wasn't born yesterday.
I don't know. I just hope like again, this might be me talking myself.
It is, man.
From getting hyped. I don't know.
You're just
but
scared
Forza Lukaku, he's on Roma. We're winning the Scudetto. That's it.
Joe's just trying to overhype it just in case he does actually completely flop. So you're just a little. I get it, man. I'd be the same way if we signed him.
All I know is as a Roma fan,
I wouldn't know how to feel.
We're gonna change this topic after because we've harped on Roma for too long.
I know.
It's getting
Joe's already shedding a tear.
Yeah, it's one of those things that with Roma, you just know the demise is around the corner. No matter what, this season was already supposed to start off fucking crazy hype. We got Sanchez, Paredes, Awar. Holy shit, we're fucking cooking a mess. Ndika, Barcelona wanted him, but we got him. We lost the first two. Well, sorry, we tied the first game against Salernitana and lost to Hellas Verona, who just survived relegation last year. So, again, with Roma, the demise is always around the corner. We're supposed to be Scudetto champions, according to everybody in the bookies and blah, 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 blah.
How about Scudetto champions? But before we move on from Roma, do you think Big Rom starts on Friday against Milan? I don't even know. I think so. I'm going to
be at my brother's wedding. At that point,
I think he will.
There's going to be a moment where I could actually stop, watch the game on the little party.
Joe's going to get the notification on his phone. Roma, confirm lineups. He's like, he's going to have a little heart attack.
I do. This is the thing. I do think he starts.
It's Tuesday. It's Tuesday now. He arrived now. More than enough time to kind of get it. The only way he doesn't is if he's overweight and they're like, concerns. Yeah, if they're like, hey, you know what? We're not going to rush you.
But that's the thing. No matter what, I will look at you and say Lukaku makes an appearance. No matter what, it is a done deal. He is making a fucking appearance.
Here we go. Confirmed.
I wouldn't even be surprised if that Iranian guy we signed, Azmoun.
Yeah, he'll probably start too.
You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't be surprised if I see him that game. Yeah, because it's Mourinho finally back on the bench. But whatever, cool. I hope he doesn't start in a weird way, just so like kind of build up the anticipation.
What do you think, though?
I think he does start. Yeah. I think Belotti sits on the bench, even though Belotti, I love you. You've done well. I still would say you're my guy. You're the cock. You guided. You did your thing, But I think now that Lukaku's here, it's game over. No. He's the ride or die. As long as his fitness is good, that guy's going to play fucking every single game, 90 minutes at a time, not even thinking twice about something off. Even if he's having the worst fucking game, he will stay on because he's a difference maker. And that's all I have to say about Roma. Hopefully we win on Friday and we beat Milan.
I hope so too.
But I'm going to change the subject. Sorry. Only because
enough about Roma.
Yeah, I'll start crying eventually because whatever. Speaking of transfer markets though, still, I actually found something out. You told me this. Yeah. I didn't know this.
I thought you knew.
I'm not going to lie to you. I did not know this in any way, shape, or form. Saudi Arabia's transfer market actually stays open for a month longer than all of Europe's transfer market, which, I mean, you can't really get mad at because it's not FIFA regulated or whatever the fuck that is. But it's still a little bit weird. So my question, Al, is do you think that's going to be a problem for teams? Not just the smaller teams, but even like the big teams, like the Liverpool, Arsenal, Juve. I snuck you guys in there.
Well, I mean,
Kostic is leaving.
I know. I hate
offer to Roma.
I saw that. Now I see he might stay, but no. I see that with the whole Saudi Arabia thing, which I already don't like. That the fact that the league starts and the transfer market's still open. For me, like I don't give a fuck. The first game when this of whatever, let's say the Prem starts the week before, Serie A, the first game of the Prem, that's when the transfer market closes. The day before that.
Sorry to interrupt you and cut you off here. Agree but disagree there.
Okay.
Only because like what if that first game as a coach or whatever, you see something doesn't work and you want to pick up like
wait till January.
Touche. Okay, continue.
You can't just. It's not like I'm playing Ultimate Team. That guy's not working. Let me get rid of him. Let me bring this guy in last second, dude. You bring the guys in because you say, this is who I want. You make your choices. They bring them in. If you see halfway through the season guys aren't working, January comes around, you make the signings that you need to do, and you get rid of the guys that you need to get rid of.
Yeah.
That's what it should be personally. And with the Saudi Arabia, like man, how do you know the European transfer market ends on September 1st? This one's going to be open for a whole nother month. Oh. If guys they start getting stupid offers still, and they're thinking about it, and they end up leaving, then at that point, the teams are shit out of luck. Then it's unfair for them. Yeah. Like I'll say, then if anything, the European they should all close at the same time. If they close after a month, keep the the Euro window open as well too. because now you're going to leave that one open.
Yeah.
If they're still signing guys, and obviously they will, because with the amount of money they throw at people will leave. It's not a question.
I think that's the biggest thing.
If they will,
right?
It's when they will leave.
Yeah. I think that's like the biggest thing too. Like
100%,
you already know,
man.
Saudi Arabia has, sorry to swear again, fuck you money that they could just throw it at anyone and throw it at any team. So they could pick up an average guy on any team, throw 70 mil, not even bat an eye.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They could look at Liverpool, and even though that attack is based around Salah, since they're so hot and heavy for Salah, they could pick him up.
Make a move for him.
You know what I mean? And like it's just kind of shitty, because what if you thought you'd have him till at least January?
Yeah.
Or till the end of the year, and you build all this stuff around whatever. You know what I mean? So do you think it would be fair or unfair if, let's say, Saudi Arabia came in mid-September, transfer market's all done, they went for Dybala, they picked Dybala up from Roma, and he went there right away?
Yeah.
Or should they wait till January in respects to, obviously, like the European transfer market opening up again?
That's the thing. Okay, like you say, with respects.
Did I word that correctly? Yeah, I was thinking about it. Sorry.
You say with respects, but at the end of the day, like if they want something, they're like, okay, hey, respectfully, we're gonna come to you guys. We're not gonna go behind your back. We're gonna tell you what our offer is while we tell him as well.
Yeah, but do you think that's fair?
No, it's not. I mean, rules wise, it's fair, but actually, no, because then you're just leaving a team. Now you're down one of your players, one of your star players.
Yeah.
And you can't make a signing until January. You got to rely on what you have, or bring up guys from your youth system. So, and that's not always gonna click as much, especially when you lose if you lost a guy like Dybala, who's a big guy. If you lost, a guy like what's that guy? What's your left back? It's Zalewski.
Don't talk about him.
If like he left though, it would be like, okay, yeah, that fucking sucks. But like realistically, you can put Spinazzola there. You can grab somebody from your youth and probably bring up, and he'll probably be good too.
Yeah,
Roma doesn't have really that that problem. Like they have good youth products. They can bring guys up. So like they'll figure out a way, but it'll just be a shitty situation for them. It'll be fair because they're not breaking any rules. They're they're doing exactly what they're allowed to, but it just puts Roma in a shitty situation. And like that's where I wouldn't want to see teams start getting screwed over because a Saudi team comes in at mid-September, end September, and sign one of their star players.
Yeah. Well, the reason I'm asking that is because you've seen recently, especially in the all the news and whatever, that Salah is being heavily sought after, especially after Diogo Jota, whatever. So for him to leave once the transfer market's done, it doesn't even give Liverpool a chance to make a panic buy.
Yeah.
Right. And literally so my thing, I started thinking about today when I was going over it all, and I learned about that was do you think they would have that almost mutual respect, or FIFA maybe would intervene and say, hey, yeah, you agreed a deal, but he'll arrive in January once it opens up again for Europe. You know?
Especially now that it's getting so close and the window, it's pretty much going to be closed probably by the time if they end up agreeing anything.
Yeah.
But I also I feel like Salah and Liverpool have a very good relationship and a respect for each other. And I feel like he would probably set something up in a way where say, okay, you know what, I'm going to sign now with them, but I'm not going to make that move until January. Yeah. I'm going to stay here until then. Gives you guys enough time, to look around, find my replacement, and then sign somebody in January. And that's when I'm going to be leaving. I'm not going to leave you guys now because I'm not going to put you in that position, even though, they might have, the younger guys they still have Luis Diaz, Darwin, who, came up big last week. And
yeah, I was bad. We'll talk about that after.
We'll talk about that after.
Yeah,
but
just stay tuned.
They have the guys that they wouldn't be in absolute shambles if a guy like Salah. Salah is massive for them. Last year he scored 30 goals and 16 assists. That's not a guy. That's not the easy guy to replace.
Yeah. Especially with his contributions already.
That's what I mean.
You know what I mean? He's already.
But they wouldn't be completely left out to dry. But again, going back to Salah, I don't think he would put Liverpool in that position where he's leaving, mid-September and they can't do nothing, and now they're stuck with no Salah and no replacement for him until January.
Yeah,
I think with some players, you might see some players, they're like, hey, fuck them, I'm taking the money, I'm not, I don't give a fuck about them. They can figure it out. Some players will do that. There's tons of players that they have that mentality, but a guy like Salah, certain players, if they let's say they were to approach Dybala, I could see him doing the same kind of thing. If let's say he was, down to go, I could see him kind of working something out that says, okay, you know what, I'll sign a contract to say I do come, but I'm not going to come until January because I'm not going to, leave Roma like that. I can see him doing that as well. So it depends on the player, I think.
Do you see is there any, like, this is me kind of throwing you under the bus here. Yeah. Sorry, but is there any rumor you actually see happening once the transfer market closes in Europe that like a European player
to go over there?
Yeah. Obviously, besides Salah, because I feel like
we already talked about that.
Yeah, is there any player in specifically, or
I can
you're the transfer guru now.
A part of me, because I remember I sent you not too long ago that the poll that they were doing an offer. I could see like that going through in like mid-September all of a sudden, where it's like she's like, here we go, confirmed the Paul going to whatever team it was.
Tap-in merchant Fabrizio Romano.
I can see like a guy like that. I can see like now like this month here, you're gonna see signings still. I just think it's gonna be more for guys like, and not taking away from DePaul. I love DePaul, but guys like that, not world class, not the best player on their team, but guys that have a name for themselves and are somewhat known.
Yeah.
And just, not ever gonna make more than fucking $5 million a season at any other team, other than if they go to Saudi, they're gonna get triple that.
Yeah.
So I think it's just going to be guys like that you're going to see in September. I don't see any like big names that you're going to be like, holy fuck, like he went to Saudi. No way he left that team. No way. Like I can't see that happening right now. If it does, I'll be fucking shocked.
Yes, yeah. I don't know that much about the transfer.
If he does, I'll get a Fabrizio Romano tattoo.
I wouldn't, because he's a tap-in merchant. And Nico Shira, you're my guy.
Oh, dude, my guy since 2 years ago. I told you
actually.
And Joel's like, I don't know.
I was on that flex about DiMarzio still. I love that guy, man.
But fell off, man.
Yeah, he's
after you reported that Ronaldo wasn't going to Juve, and then the next day he was literally having a lunch with Agnelli, and he was signing a contract.
He twerks for clickbait.
Yeah, dude, you're not
he's
the
fraud.
Smartest guy.
Speaking of Saudi Arabia, see, I feel like everything we do, like, we're just so smooth with it, man. Like,
Joe, it's crazy, man. That's another thing we forgot to mention that you love.
Working
transitions.
Yeah. Speaking of transitions. Speaking of that, Mancini is transitioning to Saudi Arabia.
What a loser, honestly. I actually hate that guy. I don't care what he did for us. It was all Chiesa in the Euro Cup. He did absolutely nothing. It was Chiesa and Vialli who carried that team to a championship. Mancini did nothing. Guy got praised, and then he just gets up and leaves after not making a World Cup, choking like a complete asshat. And now just go, oh yeah, I want to leave because this guy is not letting me do this and sign this guy, and they're telling me who to bring in my management. And then you go to Saudi Arabia. Oh no, it wasn't because of the money. They're giving you $30 million a year for fucking 4 years, dude. Shut up. Everybody's taking that money and going there. You're an idiot.
You know what I got my dad to admit today?
What?
When I told him about Ranieri's word, who legend of the fucking game, he looked at me and he's like, Joseph, what do you expect from a Laziale? And my dad's a Juve fan. So this isn't just a Roma bias here. This isn't about me.
Wait, for Ranieri's words?
What Ranieri said about Mancini.
Oh, yeah.
So if you didn't know, Ranieri basically kind of, after like a game with Cagliari, whatever, he kind of just made a comment because they asked him about the whole Mancini situation and him confirming that he's signing with Saudi Arabia. He turned around and he's like, listen, I'm not going to comment too much, but money's never been a motivational factor for me. I would always, an opportunity like for Italy, I would jump at that.
Yeah.
Making a jab at Mancini, obviously.
But that's class.
That's a gentleman of the sport. Leicester legend.
And an Interist. Once an Interist, always going to be an Interist.
Wait, like Mancini?
Mancini.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying Ranieri.
No. Ranieri's class. I told my dad that quote. My dad's like, see?
That's gentleman of the fucking
That's
sport.
a fucking class. that you get it.
Tony to come and say that right now.
So that you get it, man.
But
Mancini's a bum.
No, you know what? My biggest thing is, at first I wanted to give Mancini the kind of like respect, because like at the end of the day, I don't hate Mancini because like I'll have that respect for him. He's not a bad coach, like anything like that. Like he seems like a good guy too. You know, like maybe dab him up, have a coffee, spit at him because he's Laziale, but whatever. It's just his comments afterwards. You know how like he legitimately signed for Saudi Arabia with like a day or two afterwards, and then says money's not my motive, and he starts suing all of the FIGC. Yeah, Italy's flawed. Obviously,
everybody knows that.
Crooked. They
but
suck,
don't try to make that the excuse of why you left. Stop being a loser, man.
Say it how it is. To it. Exactly. You got generational money. That's fine. Just admit to that.
Don't try to like say, oh no, that was not the reason. Just shut up, man. If anybody is leaving their job, no matter what, to make quadruple of what he was making.
Yeah, dude.
More. Like
if I'm literally leaving my job, what I'm doing right now, it will literally be because you looked at me and said, you'll do the same thing. You're just making 10 times the money.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. As long as it might still contend, sure, of course. Like he's being offered generational money, and I'll respect that. But don't turn around and just blame everything on everybody else and play a victim here that they don't want to help you. Like,
he's a loser. He's a loser. The way he all the comments he said, the way he would talk about other coaches, not using the youth and Italy's youth, this and that, and then he did the exact same thing and kept calling the same Toloi, Acerbi, Bonucci.
Was he not the guy that brought?
What are you doing?
More Oriondis, which is Oriondi is like what the Italian team calls like foreign players that are non-Italian that have like Italian heritage or whatever. Wasn't he the guy that brought in the most?
Yep.
Jorginho, Emerson, Toloi, Retegui. Love you, Retegui. I think you're great, but like the list goes on with a bunch of these guys, and he wants to turn around and say, "Oh yeah, the Italian system's flawed."
Yeah.
No, there's players. They're
just not given the chance.
This is probably
coaches like you is the reason why.
This is probably the first time since the generation of Del Piero, Vieri, Totti, Inzaghi, whatever, that you have options. And I don't want to sound like an Italian merchant here and like whatever, but like for once I could look at everyone and say like there's actually a decent team Italy could field. Yeah. I'm not saying the best in the world by any means, but we definitely better than what we've been seeing.
We actually have, you look at your younger defenders past now, obviously Bonucci. I don't consider Toloi a to be like those guys. There were just fillers for when Bonucci
I agree,
and Chiellini retired, and there were no more.
Yeah,
I'm talking about like Bastoni, Gatti, even Mancini. Scalvini from I forgot about him. Scalvini.
I don't know how to pronounce this guy's name, but Okolo on Atalanta.
Buongiorno from Torino.
Al just saved me there because I was going to take forever to try to pronounce that.
I remember that.
But yes,
you have guys that for once we actually have like an influx in center mids. We have a stupid amount of midfielders for once. We actually have
true.
And we're like, you know what? Let's use the formation with the least amount of mids and try to fill up the positions that we don't really have the best players of, and keep starting Berardi. And
you know what?
Makes sense.
I think Jorginho, who is literally just now a curse, he's going to run my mid.
He doesn't lose a spot.
He's running my midfield right now.
Verratti, who's only getting traction from Saudi Arabia, he's starting here too. He's not going. He's staying right here.
Don't get me wrong. I do like Verratti still.
I love him. But
okay, we agree then.
There's so much better and guys that actually want to prove themselves, and no matter what, a guy that wants to prove himself will always give more and show more than a guy like Verratti who he's won his Euro. Yeah. He's probably content with his accomplents with Italy. Yeah. Maybe he wants to make a World Cup, but like he's not gonna. He's either gonna play like an idiot, like he does. You see with game in and game out with PSG and sometimes with Italy, or he's just not gonna give that 100% compared to a guy like Fratesi or Fagioli who's gonna be there and prove themselves.
That want to prove their value to the national team, and like
that's what's missing.
This is where I'll commend a guy like Antonio Conte when he selected his national team for Italy, whatever. He didn't choose the best people on paper.
No.
He chose guys that were going to run for fucking 300 minutes
and
straight.
Guys that fit him.
And fit his style, that gritted it out. Like Parolo, at that point, he was a nobody. Same with Giaccherini, Graziano Pelle. Like, the list goes on for that guy. He actually put De Rossi as a center back. Which, okay, like I love that because I think whatever. But, it's absurd.
Yeah.
But it worked because those guys would have died for the badge. You have guys that, like, Immobile, at one point, obviously he was fucking fantastic. Whatever it was, maybe a little bit past his prime. Whatever. Insigne, Verratti, Toloi, etc. All these guys, they're great, 100%. But they became civilized.
Yeah.
They're at the peak of their prowess. They did their thing, revolutionized. That the thing with national team football is it's very cutthroat. You know what I mean? It's a small window you have. You prove your value. See you later. Love you. Thank you for everything you did.
You don't got much time to start testing things out and trying
things.
You
can't really do random things and say, this team won the Euro, so I think they should be the ones trying to qualify for my World Cup. No.
Same team.
It's a revolving door, and Mancini lost the plot.
Yeah. He didn't learn from Lippi when Lippi tried doing that.
Dude, I wouldn't even sewer Lippi actually, Lippi fucked up too.
No, dude, the guy. Well, I get it. You won a World Cup. Why are you trying with the same team?
Yeah, what I'm trying to say is like I feel like that's not just a Lippi thing or Mancini. That's literally every Italian coach's problem.
Italian mentality.
You taste the success and then you decide
they want to live in it.
I'm gonna go with these guys again. You know, like no, like you have a plethora of fucking ability. For once, like you said, in the midfield, I could look and say we have options. It's not just Pirlo and Gattuso. That's the only two center mids that work at this point.
Like Ambrosini and what was the other guy that was on Milan? Oh my god,
Montesquieu that they celebrated when he broke his leg. Poor
carrying the midfield of Italy. Like we're not at that anymore. Like we actually have very good mids. But yeah, let's not use them and stick with the old guys that want to see Euro Cup.
Like some of it's raw, unproven, but that's because the coach didn't give them their chances.
Yeah,
he decided to ride with Insigne, Immobile / Belotti, Berardi.
Yeah, same thing every game.
You know, like Chiesa, he won a Euro, but that guy still has the bite between his teeth. Yeah. He's still young. He still wants to fucking rule the world. He wants to do his thing. Like that's a guy you look at then and say, you're still young.
No.
Let's build this attack around you. You know what I mean? Like Raspadori, I have even more respect for him because he was a bench player, fringe player, whatever, but he still wants to prove his value.
He wants to keep proving himself.
You know, like I think Spalletti coming in, I think that's the perfect guy for that reason.
This was the perfect
because he doesn't care to make an enemy.
No.
Look at what he did with Roma, and look what he did with Napoli. Like a guy like that is what you need.
This is the balls that Italy needed to put in charge, and I'm not gonna say silverware or anything like that, but I think he's gonna turn Italy around, and now we're gonna see the real Italy. Yeah. You're gonna see the Italy that we should have already been seeing with Mancini that he's just been holding us back from. Now you're going to start seeing this.
Yeah.
You're going to start seeing the right guys be there.
I think with Spalletti, one of the greatest gifts he has is he doesn't care in that regard. He wants to he's not a serial winner by any means. He doesn't have the biggest trophy cabinet or whatever, but he just wants to do what's best for the team and he prioritizes them. And I think with him, it's a recipe for success. It may take time, like you said. Silverware won't come right away. I'm not even saying we'll win during his era.
No. As long as we make competitions and we put up a good fight.
That's it.
That's all that matters.
I do have confidence that he will genuinely help Italy. He'll be the one that says, hey, this is what we have to do. This is what's going to go on. And he's going to retire after this.
Anyways. This
so he'll be there for more than one.
This is his, as you would say, swan song.
This is his last dance, like Michael Jordan, buddy. This is his Jordan era. He's not in his pretty girl era. He's in his Jordan era. Fuck, damn.
This is it for Spalletti. Does he bring back
Roma's risen from the ruins?
Does he bring a World Cup back to Italy?
Oh, dude. I'll be on your shoulders. I'll hug you and cry like I did for the Euro.
We'll watch it here and then in the next World Cup.
No, we'll see. We'll see what the...
I think this is one thing that I the first time that honestly I didn't want to give a year because I think it's just since I can remember because it was always the worst time when Serie A just starts. You're getting in the hang of it. You're starting to see your team. You're starting to feel like, oh man,
I want this international.
I fucking love soccer. Then the first international break comes after the third game, and you're like, man, dude, what the fuck? Can you at least wait for at least 10 games, and then you can do it. Whatever. Just please. This year, I think is the first time I'm actually looking forward.
Yeah. To every international break.
I'm genuinely I want to see who he brings. I want to see who he starts. I want to see how they play. I think this is the first time I'm going to actually watch both games fully.
I won't even lie to you. I actually agree. Usually, I don't want the international break, and it's not even.
Me and you are usually on the same page about this.
It's not even actually about Roma doing bad or whatever it is. I'm just I could look at you straight up and say I am twerking.
No, dude,
for international play because I want to see Spalletti. I want to see that fucking beautiful bald man sculpt. Yeah. I'm so excited to see what's his first 11. Who's he calling? It's just crazy to me because I could finally look for I was happy when Mancini first came because of his attacking ability and whatever, but then it just became kind of stagnant.
Yeah.
Yeah, even before we won the Euro, it was kind of stagnant.
Oh, actually, the good thing too, actually, by when we record next episode, most likely we'll have his lineup, who he's going to bring over there. So
expect an all-Italian episode.
I was going to say, expect us to maybe start talking about the league, how the games went for the first 10 minutes, and then end up just blabbing about Italy for the next half an hour.
Maybe we get DBG here, whatever. Maybe we get Joe next door.
Maybe we bring Cannavaro. Who knows?
I'm going to text Maldini. He's unemployed right now. Maybe he'll show up. But on that note, guys,
I think we end things off there.
Yeah, Al lost the bet from last week.
Yeah, I know. I didn't
quickly say that to you guys.
Like I came so close.
I was perfect.
Man. I came so just fucking. Darwin had to score too much. I got him to score one goal. I got him to score at any time. He did it, and then I had just Newcastle more than 1.5 goals. You just need to win the fucking game
and
down a man.
The header,
and I got that.
No method of first goal. You said
method of first goal. Sorry, I didn't get that either. So that's. But honestly, man, if I at least Newcastle got that, I would have at least beaten you because then you wouldn't have got the Liverpool result. But hey, it's still early on. That's only week 1, guys. We got to see how this thing ends off. That's where we see the real winner in this. Yeah, but guys, keep an eye out for the next episode. That's going to be coming out for that. For what is this week's featured match?
Arsenal versus United.
Arsenal versus United.
I was gonna do something different. We were talking about doing a different game, but
we were gonna do Roma Milan, but Joe didn't want to touch it too close to home.
I was actually gonna do Lazio versus Napoli.
No,
because you know what my bet would have been.
No. Arsenal United.
I would have bet on Lazio, so I cursed them. I would have went completely wrong. I would have said 5 goals. They win.
They end up winning 5-0.
They did. I would have actually.
Joe wins his bet, but at what cost?
I would have just won.
What did it cost?
I don't even know
everything.
Like that was out of Thanos still at that point. But
yeah, no, I think that's that wraps it up for this week. Keep an eye out for the new episode that's going to be dropping out before that match. And yeah, guys, don't forget to follow us on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram at UltrasXI. Subscribe to our YouTube, leave a comment and like. And until then, we'll see you next week, guys. Ciao.
See you later.